Hey guys, it's Ashley, and today I am doing a video. You can see Hope and Buttons in the background. I'm doing a quick video. I don't know if I've done one of these before, but I'm going to take the chance and say I didn't, so we're going to do it anyway. And what we are going to do is, I just got my new doll in the mail. Her name is Lainey Holland, if you didn't recognize her already. And she just came to me from an eBay seller. I got her for a really good price, but her legs are, as you can see, very, very, very loose, and her arms are okay, but I'm going to tighten them anyway. And she is going to be eventually going to the hospital to get a new head, but in the meantime, she needs to have her legs tightened so she can stand up on her own 2 feet and not to fall over. So I'm going to show you how to tighten your American Girl doll's limbs on your own without having to send to the hospital and pay a bunch of money. So what you're going to need is your doll, and you are going to need, depending on which limbs you are going to be tightening, I'm tightening all 4 limbs, so you're going to need, depending on how many limbs you're tightening, you're going to need hairbands, and since I'm doing both arms and both legs, I'm getting 4 hairbands, and it doesn't matter what color or what kind, but I like this kind. So yeah, just as long as they have elastic on them and they're not like completely stretched out like this, for example. This is kind of stretched out, but it's not completely stretched out. So something that's, yeah, this is stretched out. So something that's not stretched out. And they have lots of elastic in them. So you're also going to have to not to be afraid to behead your doll, and that is not something that you would want to do on a daily basis. So yeah, you might want to have an adult's help. So yeah, and okay, good. Those are all fuzzies, because if they weren't fuzzies and they were marks on her skin, on her body, I would have been really mad. But okay. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take any clothes off your doll that your doll happens to be wearing, such as, oh yeah, I'll take her underwear off, make things easy. Once you've got a naked doll, what you're going to do is you're going to do the unthinkable, and this might be scary for some people, so viewer discretion is advised. So you're going to take the strings on the back of your doll's head, keeping her head on her body, and you're going to untie them. And ooh, she's got really tight strings. Someone tied her really tight. So good for whoever tied her tightly, but yeah, okay. So then you're going to pull the strings apart. So you have 2 untied strings, and you are going to take your doll's head off the body. This is very scary. I just beheaded an American Girl doll, but sorry. Has to be done in order to do what you are going to do today. So what you're going to do next is, once you've beheaded your doll and done the unthinkable, your doll is undergoing surgery like she would at the doll hospital, except for really cheap, because you don't have to pay any money to do it yourself. You're going to unstuff her. This is like a horror film, because you are beheading your dolls and you're ripping the stuffing out. And I'm telling you now that there is a lot of stuffing, and I've done this before, and not all the stuffing that I've taken out has gone back into my dolls' bodies. So you can try all you want, but sometimes it really won't go back in because it's just too full. And eventually, dang, she's stuffed like really well. So I'm going to keep having to pull some stuff out. There's going to be a huge amount of stuffing, because even though it doesn't look like a lot of stuffing would fit into this teeny tiny body of your American Girl dolls, it's still like a lot of stuffing. And so you're just going to keep unstuffing your doll, doing the unthinkable, until your doll's body is empty. And my doll's body is still not empty, so I'm still talking and pulling out stuffing from my doll's body that I just bought. So yeah, and feel really weird doing this for some reason, because I'm just talking and talking. I'm taking the stuffing of your doll's body. Well, my doll's body. Yeah, so once you do that, I finally almost have all of it. Did I get it all? Alright. Once you have an empty sack of a doll, I know this is really sad and really scary, but it'll be for your doll's own good. So once you, her legs are all weird. Alright, so once you do that, oh my god, there's still a tiny bit of stuffing. Oh my god. Alright, what you're gonna do is the arm sockets are easier to do than the leg sockets. So what you're gonna do is, this is what the inside of an arm socket looks like. This is this arm right here. See how this pulls up like that? What you're going to do is you're going to take one of your hair bands. You are not going to be able to get these back, so make sure you choose ones you don't like a lot, but you have to make sure, whoops, that they have a lot of elasticity. You put it underneath this thing here, this like cup, I want to call it, but it's not a cup. And you just tie it around the doll's body like this. And I would use the fast forwarding feature for all the time it took to pull out my mountain of stuffing, but I am recording it on YouTube itself, so I kind of don't have any of that available to me right now. And you're going to tighten it, and then you're going to test it. See that? It literally is like iron. It's not going anywhere. And you're going to do that with the rest of the limbs in your doll's body. And any stuffing that is like caught around the limbs, that's fine. You can just remove it and you can put it back in later. Take your other one, put it underneath the cup. I'm going to call it a cup because I don't know what else to call it. And do the same thing, just like you're tying a ponytail around it. You just do that around the elastic that goes under the cup. And you test your limb. Okay, that is still very loose. And if that happens, you just do that. That's better. Just make sure the limbs aren't loose. Yeah, I don't like that. Whatever, we'll move on and we'll go back to it. And then the legs are harder to do just because they're farther down into the cloth body, but it's not too difficult to get to them. Or at least it shouldn't be. Okay. And then again, you take your hairband and you tie it around like you are doing a ponytail in your hair, and you do it as tight as it'll go, just to ensure that your doll's limbs will be nice and tight. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then you always test your limbs. Oh yeah, that's really tight. See that? That is going to get rid of any, okay, you can't really do that when you have no stuffing in the body. And then you are going to go into your other leg. It really doesn't matter what order you do it in, but I just tend to do the arms first because it's just easier to get to them. Save the hard stuff for last. And then take your last rubber band, or elastic, I guess, and make sure that it goes underneath the cup. And you tie, whoops, okay, whoops. It's just my dog. Okay, And once that is done, you test the last leg. Good. And that's the good arm. And then this one, that one's pretty good. I still don't like how loose that is. I might have to get another rubber band because I don't like how loose that is. So if you don't like how loose your band is, you just grab another hairband. Hope's like, what is my mom doing? This is not the kind I usually use, but I don't want to have to go all the way upstairs to my room to get another one. And hopefully it'll do its job. And you just do the same thing. And, whoops, tighten this around like that. There's like a huge amount of elastics there. But it's even more iron than the first one. So, after all of your limbs are as tight as you want them, and they're only wiggling right now, the legs, because there's no stuffing in the doll's body. Then, you're going to go to your mountain of stuffing. That's how much stuffing that came out of Lainey's body. That's like a lot. So, you're going to go about restuffing her. And the hardest part has not yet come, because I've done this before, and the part that I've had the most trouble with is not getting the head back in, but tying it tight enough so that the head doesn't slip out. So when it comes to that, if you can't tie your strings tight enough to keep the head in, once you've restuffed the doll's body, you can ask an adult or someone who's stronger than you to tie the doll's head back in. And I know this is way late now, but get your parents' permission if you're young, because if you do this wrong, even though it really isn't that difficult, then I don't want your parents blaming me. I actually got this method from the amazing Steven Spielberg dancer, who was like the person who got me started on AGTube. So thank you, Sarah, for being my inspiration, even though you'll never see this. So you keep stuffing the doll's body, and actually you could use a pencil if you want. Use the eraser side, not the pencil side, to help jam in that stuffing, because I know that my hands have a hard enough time getting down into the body without the stuffing in the way. So yeah, the pencil's not helping very much, but better than nothing. So yeah, just keep stuffing this thing until you're finished. That will take time because there's a lot of stuffing. And there's only so little doll. I don't even know how AG does it, because I've pretty much stuffed Lainey back up to the brim. I can probably fit a little bit more in there. And she is now, oops, standing on her own with no problems. I just had to position her right because my laptop was right there. And yeah, so there's Lainey. I still need to stuff her, so see how posable she is. I need to put more up here and around her arms. So yeah, about the arms, make sure that you do get stuffing around her shoulder blades, or what would be the doll's shoulder blades, because you don't want it to be kind of empty like it is here. You can see all the wrinkles in the fabric because there's nothing there. And so far, I've used quite a bit of my stuffing to to put in there, but there's still quite a bit left. So I don't know if I'll be able to fit all the stuffing back in, because clearly I've used up a lot of the mountain and there's still quite a bit there, and she's almost full. So I never really was able to put all the stuffing that was originally in the doll back in. So you might be left with some extra stuffing, and that's okay. Just as long as your doll is stuffed back up the way she was before, you took all the stuffing out, for the most part, and yeah. So I'm almost done stuffing my doll, and once you do that, the hard part comes. And while the doll's head is not on the body still, you might want to try to position the stuffing, make sure that there's no weird bulges in the body anywhere, so that you can adjust it before you put the head back in. And so now my doll's body is like completely full. The stuffing is like coming out of the top. So if it is like that, I would recommend taking just a tiny bit out, like around that area, just so either that or pushing it deeper in, because you need to have a little bit of room just to put the head in. So once you are ready to put your head back in, you are going to make sure that that fold with extra stuff there is, you know, not there. And you're going to take this oval base, and we're going to put the front in like that, and you're going to put the back end in like that, and you are going to tightly, very, very tightly, because see how her head's kind of bulging out the back there? You don't want it to be able to bulge out the front or the back. You want it to be super tight. So you are going to pull the strings about as tight as you can manage, and that has got to be really tight. I might even have to get like my brother or my mom when they come home to help me out with this, because I am not the best at doing this. So if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it, because even I am going to probably need to ask for help, because I didn't do such a good job on the other dolls that I was strong when it came to tying them back up. The rest of it was a breeze, but then when it came to tying it back up, it was really difficult. So you want it to be like that, where it's super tight around the rim and super tight in the back. And once you have it super tight, so tight that like no air can escape it, that's me being silly, you are going to keep holding it tight, and you are going to tie it in a knot. And I would recommend doing several knots. They're really tight, and I don't even know. Okay, yeah, see what happened? What happened there was, when you go to pull the knot in, you have to make sure that it's still really tight, because I kind of accidentally let go, and a lot of the tightness went away. So if that happens, just pull it out like as little as you can, so it's still a really small loop, and pull, keep it tight. This is where it's tricky, because you want it to stay tight. I can use my pencil again and stick it in the hole instead of my finger, because okay, yeah, see, that was really bad. See how it's still like yeah, there's the pencil. You don't want to leave that there. See how it's still jutting out there? You really can't, but it's not tight enough. You have to make sure it's tight enough. It has to be super tight, like beyond any tightness that any of you would have ever done. And oh my god, I've been done doing this for 20 minutes. And alright, that was a pretty good one. So I'm happy with that. She is secure in her body, and I'm going to do a couple more knots, and we're going to be done. 1, 2. Alright. And there you have it. Her limbs are super tight and super well done, and I can't believe I did 20 minutes. But that's about how long it took, because literally I did the whole thing step by step right in front of your faces. So, yay! And then whenever you're ready, here's how much stuffing was left over from, sorry, I'm like doing this with one hand, and that, a big handful. So this is all the extra stuffing that I was left with. And you can take your doll's clothes that she was wearing, or he, depending on whether you're doing this on a girl doll or a boy doll. Excuse me. And you put them back on. So I did that, and in the future, Lainey will be going to the hospital, actually the very near future. I probably should never have thought that, because that would have been the perfect box to send her to the hospital in. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that this helped with any, you know, loose limbs that your dolls may have. And I don't know how to do any actual restringing, as in like fixing the strings that are inside your doll's body. That's something that you actually need to look up other than me. But I do know how to tighten your doll's limbs, so there you go. And I hope that that helped you guys. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. She's not moving. Bye.